2402. So even higher now, over 2400, which is just crazy. Widdz here, and in today's video I have a new best SMG build when it comes to PvE, and this one is just insane. And I actually got really surprised yesterday when I tested this that I got it to work with one of the newer items as well, making it even more insane. So I will go through two different PvE builds with this, with two different sets, and it will also let you know how to get all the items and how all this works. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly let you guys know that you get 45% off with the code widdz on my protein today. So if you need to stock up on some protein, maybe some workout clothes or protein bars, then you can use code widdz for 45% off. Just click the link in the description and you can also see my recommendations. So the build revolves around Chatterbox. And with title update 22, it actually got buffed quite a lot. So we firstly just go through the Chatterbox. So the talent gives you rate of fire, right? So 125% with max stacks, which is 5. If you get a kill, you refill 50% of your magazine. So extremely good. It is pretty hard to get 5 stacks though, but don't worry guys, I have a trick for that I will get into soon. Other than that, the mods on it is pretty good. 15 crit chance on the scope, 15 critical hit damage on the muzzle, 10 extra rounds, and then 10% weapon handling. So we have a lot of critical hit chance straight from the gun. If you're interested on how to get the Chatterbox, you can check out my video that I made a few years ago. That is still accurate. Just click the video in the description. In terms of the 5 stacks, if you go down to the shooting range, you hit the accuracy, make sure that you have that guy, and then you just reload here. You can get the 5 stacks and you can teleport away and you will still keep the stacks. So that's a super easy way to get 5 stacks and just keep it, because it can be really rough to actually get 5 stacks. So keep that in mind. And when it comes to these Chatterbox builds I'm gonna go through, they are crit based, right? So get your crit chance to around 50 or 60%. You can keep it at 50% if you run with a friend that have Chaotic Mask. Otherwise, it just goes around 60%. When you have 60% critical hit chance, which is the cap, then you put the rest into critical hit damage. So those are the attributes you want to focus on. When it comes to the builds, we are gonna go through 2 different ones, starting with a striker build. And you can set up these quite different, but for striker, 4-piece is definitely mandatory, and the exotic holster is also mandatory. So there are 5 pieces that you have to use, then the last slot is optional. And before we go more into detail with this, you might wonder, why are you using the Centurion Scabbard? Why are you using that, Widdz? You have to swap the gun to get the buff, right? And with Chatterbox, if you swap the gun, you lose the stacks. And that is correct. The first time I looked at this one, the first thing I thought was rate of fire, weapon damage. Okay, perfect for Chatterbox, right? But then I saw you have to swap weapons. I was like, okay, you can't use that. But then yesterday on stream, I decided, okay, I'm gonna make a Chatterbox build and I'm gonna see if I can find a way to get Centurion Scabbard to work with the Chatterbox. And I think it took me a minute or 2 and I figured it out. So 5 stacks right now. And we're gonna toss a grenade. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Did you see that we procced it? So pressing grenade and going back to the gun triggers the exotic holster. Meanwhile, we still have the stacks. So we don't have to... So we don't lose the 5 stacks. Which is just insane. You can also use a skill if we use the hive and then swap back to the gun. That will also trigger it. And the thing is, this exotic holster is just perfect for Chatterbox, especially since it's now not working as correctly. But the second buff is 50% mag size and 50% reload speed. And first one being 20% rate of fire and 20% weapon damage. Rate of fire is gonna scale insanely good with the Chatterbox, right? So no matter which one we get, it's gonna be beneficial. So let's say we shoot all the bullets. Oh no, I have 4 bullets left. I'm gonna lose all my my Chatterbox stacks. No, you just press G, the grenade, right? And you swap back, right click. Now we get the damage buff though, which you are gonna run melee. So you swap it like this, and bam, you proc the mag size one, which is currently bugged and automatically reloads. So now it automatically reloaded the gun up to 90, while actually keeping the Chatterbox stacks at 5. So there's so much easier to play this, because even if you miss, you just press G and you get it. And obviously now it looks like, oh, you have to swap it twice. But when you're running this, you're obviously gonna prioritize getting the damage and rate of fire buff, right? So you're gonna be using that. And whenever you're running between NPC spawns or whatever, you just press G and you get it. You get the max size, right? So it's just perfect synergy. So with that said, definitely with how it works right now, the best item for Chatterbox by far, because it just crazy synergy. Even if they would fix it so it doesn't automatically reload, it would still be beneficial, because you would increase the mag size to 90 as a start. You wouldn't get the automatic reload, but as soon as you kill stuff, it fills up the mag, right? And since the mag size is 90, we will still just refill it up to 90, as you can see here. And getting that from one item is just crazy. So yeah, they might fix this so you can't do it with a grenade. But until then, this item is just goated for this. So in case you haven't gotten it yet, you just have to level the season pass up to 29, and then you get the holster and also a blueprint. To level the season pass, I would recommend to just do the journey. You get the experience here. This icon is for season pass experience, and also when you complete 6 of them, you can claim here. So it's extremely fast to farm actually. So that covers the Chatterbox and also the exotic holster synergy. So if we take a look here, I actually have a spreadsheet that is made by IKEA. I'll put a link in the description to this Excel document and also to its channel. I did adjust this one a little bit, but if we look at the original values here, we're gonna be looking at burst DPS, as we can see there in red. So Ouroboros have better burst DPS than all of the exotic ones. And if we also take a look at the normal SMGs, but when it comes to Chatterbox, we do have the RPM talent. So if we put that into the perspective, if you have 3 stacks with the Chatterbox for rate of fire, then it becomes the best damage when it comes to burst damage at 978,000. And if we also take a look here with 5 stacks, then we're at 1.258 million. But if we also take in Striker with 0 stacks and also the exotic holster, then we're looking at a 1.45 million burst DPS. This is at 2,210 RPM. We will go through the builds later though, but you can get this to around 2,400 and even more if you would use some of the new season modifiers. We can just see that the Chatterbox fully stacked is just on another level. So with that said, we're gonna look at the first build here more in detail. So I'm running a 4-piece Striker with exotic holster, and then I'm using a Palisade mainly to get more survivability. And in case you don't know how Striker works, you can go through that really quick. So 2-piece gives you weapon handling, which is stability, accuracy, reload speed, and swap speed. 3-piece is 15% rate of fire, and 4-piece is that you increase the weapon damage. So every time you hit a target, you get 1 stack, and this stacks up to 100, giving you 0.65% damage per stack. And you don't lose any stacks if you miss. So that's how Striker works in short. It's worth to mention as well is that the backpack talent increased the stacks from 0.65% to 0.90. I did test a few different versions. Honestly, you can do this however you want. It's kind of hard to have 200 stacks for the Striker chest piece though, so that's why I decided to go Obliterate. But I did also run another version yesterday, which used a Palisade backpack with Bloodsucker. Then you could also go like a Sokolov with Bloodsucker. Like Bloodsucker is really nice, but then you're not gonna get as many stacks from Striker. But you could run the Striker chest piece and then do that if you want to focus more on survivability. But yeah, you can kind of do this however you want. You could also maybe use like a Memento backpack if you want that for survivability, right? There's just a lot of options. You can even ninja bike it. But of course, then you couldn't use the exotic holster. But with this, I would definitely recommend to use the exotic holster because it's just super fun with that insane rate of fire. So before we start with the first build, I thought we could quickly just go through the specialization and skills because they are going to be the same for both builds. So starting with specialization, I'm going to use gunner mainly for the armor on kill, 10%. Of course, you have this every third reload is 50% faster, which is in this case not going to do anything. But we do have this rate of fire increased by 5% on kill for 5 seconds. So those two are extremely good. And then of course grab the SMG damage down here. You can choose whatever specialization you want though, but I just think gunner with armor on kill and especially the rate of fire there is the way to go. In terms of skills, revive hive, I love to run that in PvE in case I get knocked from something. And then second skill, with this one, yes, going the shield is pretty damn good. The Crusader shield, especially if you are like 4 blue like I am right now. But ideally I just try to not use the shield. I just been running the defender drone that have pretty good damage reduction, especially since you are 4 blues. It will give you some more survivability and then you don't have to be so slow as you are with the shield. But I think the skills are just up to you, but that's what I like to run. And then if we want to go super crazy with the rate of fire, then this is the fastest rate of fire ever seen in Division franchise. And that is the Umbra Chatterbox build. So with this one, I managed to get up to 2,395 rate of fire. And I'm not sure if the gunner 5% rate of fire is included. If we take a look at the actual Chatterbox though, I am running damage to target out of cover. So you could put rate of fire there for additional 5% if you want to go all in on the rate of fire. On top of that, if you also look at the modifiers, you have this one right here called Impatient, which gives you a rate of fire increase by 30%. But then the mag size is reduced by 50%. But if you are using the exotic holster, you can get the 50% back. So that's definitely something I'm gonna test whenever I get it. I'm gonna try to farm up these and just see how high rate of fire I can get. But if you guys already gotten that, let me know if you test it, because it would be hilarious to see. So if you would put that in combination, I mean, the rate of fire is gonna be crazy. I'm not sure how this one scales in particular. So in case you don't know how Umbra works, we'll go through it really quick here. 2 piece gives you critical hit chance, 3 piece gives you reload speed. The crit chance is really nice in this case, even though it's not really that needed, but it's still good. But you have 2 different buffs. When you sit in cover, you will gain a damage buff. So with the chest piece, you will get 100 stacks. So when it's fully stacked, you will have 120 critical hit damage, which is perfect for SMG build because we are crit focused. On top of that, it will give you 40% rate of fire, which in this case, in combination with Chatterbox, is just crazy. Then we have the second buff. When you're not in cover and running around, you get another buff. So then you just sit in cover to regen back the armor, right? So that's pretty quick how Umbra works. So here we can see healing up. See, we reload there for 5 stacks, sit in cover. We're gonna do the grenade trick here. We have the damage rate of fire. We're gonna kill 1 and 2,402. So even higher now, over 2,400, which is just crazy. The annoying thing with Umbra though is that you have to sit in cover to shard it up. It's a little bit more annoying than Striker. I think the Striker build overall is just way better and just faster. But you can run this one too, but I thought this one is just mainly to show the crazy rate of fire, right? So for this build, exotic holster mandatory, 4-piece Umbra mandatory. You have 1 slot left, which is gonna be the backpack, because with Umbra you're forced to run the 4-piece so you don't lose out the rate of fire and damage. So then the backpack, you could run a Sokolov, or you can just run a Palisade, which I think is overkill here, because with this I decided to run Bloodsucker for the survivability. So this one gives you really good survivability, because when you kill enemy, you get a stack of 10% bonus armor, and this stacks to 10. So if you killed a lot of them, you will get crazy amount of bonus armor, and you're just destroying everything. And as I said, the skills and the specialization is the same. Go gunner specialization for rate of fire, skills, revive, hive, and defender drone. But I think that covers the build. Insanely fun to play, and I don't think anybody actually have figured out that you can do this with the exotic holster with Chatterbox, because when I figured this out yesterday, I did check some Chatterbox builds out there and nobody was using the exotic holster. So hopefully this will give you guys a really fun new build to play with just the craziest rate of fire you ever witnessed in the Division franchise. With that said though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this build and what you want to see next. I do have a bunch of build videos and stuff I want to make, so yeah. Make sure you subscribe and put the notifications on so you don't miss those. I will see you guys on my stream at twitch.tv/widdz or in the next YouTube video.